Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah. In this video, I'm going to remake one of my older Design Space tutorials, and it's how to add your name or any word at all into the outline of a heart, a star, or whatever shape you choose. I originally did a video on how to do this 3 years ago, and it's to this date my most popular YouTube video with over 600,000 views. Design Space has come on a long way in the past 3 years, and there are now loads more fun features inside which make adding a name into a shape even easier. So I thought I would redo my how to combine words and shapes in Cricut Design Space video with a full update for 2024. Let's get started. First, open up Design Space and start a new project. Go into Text along the left and type out the name that you want to add. I'll make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. We need to change the font so that we choose one where all the letters are touching, as that will make it much easier to add the name into the shape that we're going to be doing. So let's double click and go into the fonts drop down. To make this easier, click the filter icon, which is up here, and tick the box which says Kerned, and that helps to filter the fonts so that it will show ones that join together nicely. And then you can just have a little look through. If you choose a font that has the green A on it, you'll need the Cricut Access subscription to be able to cut it for free. Or of course you can use any font that's on your own computer by clicking the System button up here, and then the list of fonts changes to show the ones installed on your computer. But I am going to use a Cricut font, and I've already chosen the font which I'll use, and it's called BFC Bloomshine. And I really like this font because all the letters touch together nicely, as you can see. It's nice and thick, so when I cut this from vinyl, it will be easier to weed than if I'd chosen a really thin font, especially if I cut this small. And I just think it's nice and curvy and cute, and it just appeals to me. So that's the one I will use. But of course, you can choose any font that you like. Now that you've chosen the font, we can make the shape. The reason I choose the font first is to kind of get an idea of the thickness of it before we create the outline of the shape, so that we can match the shape's thickness to the thickness of the text, and then it will all just match up that little bit better. Go into Shapes and choose a heart. I'll make it a bit bigger. I'm sort of trying to match the size a little bit. Go into Offset and add a thin offset so that when you see the little blue line, the gap you've got is about the same thickness as your text. So I think this is a little bit too thick at the moment. Just a tiny bit smaller will work better, and press Apply. Drag a box around your two hearts and press Slice down at the bottom of the Layers panel. That will cut the original heart out of the offset. So now if you drag, you can see we've got our original heart. Press the trash can icon or delete on your keyboard to get rid of it. Drag again and you'll have the middle. We don't need that one either. All we want is the outside. And then I've got my text. Rotate it round and put it into position so you're happy with where it's going and the size. I actually probably did my offset a little bit too thin in the end. So my text is a little bit thicker, but I think it will still be okay. I think that's where I want it to go. And I've sort of positioned it so that when you get to the end of the H, that's going to join up with the heart again to give us a nice smooth line. Next, we need to cut off all the bits of the heart that appear in the text, because we're looking to make it look like the word is coming out of that edge. I'll recolor my name to make it nice and bright so the next bit's easier to see, and also go Arrange, Bring to Front on the text to put it on the top. Go into Shapes and choose any shape, it doesn't really matter, and make it a colour that's different to anything on screen so it's easier to see. And then I'm just going to make this so that it covers all of the bits of the grey heart that are showing between my word. And I'll need another one. You can duplicate as many as you want, make them whatever size you need to cover it. And then I'll select both of those by pressing Shift on my keyboard to click both of them and the heart and go Combine, Subtract. And that will take the circles out. Move your text back to the front again, and now you can sort of see what it's looking like. It's easier if you select both the layers and change the colour to black at this point, then you lose that outer line, so it's a bit easier to see how it's looking. Generally I like it, but I'm not too keen on this bit of the heart that's still coming out between the bit of the H. So let's fix that. I'll undo to put my colours back. Choose another circle. And I'm trying to follow the line of that H. Then I can drag that into the subtract and cut that out. And we'll just check it by making it black. There we go. I like how that's looking. I've maybe gone a bit too far. And the lovely thing about subtract is you can move things about and it will redo it for you. So unlike slice, where everything's permanent, we can keep tweaking. See, that's now a much smoother line. That looks better. When you're happy with how it's looking, select everything, either by clicking all around it, or you can press Select All, and then go Combine and Unite. And that will join the text to the edge. And now if we change the colour, zoom in a bit, you can see there's no cut lines between any of these sections, which means your Cricut is going to cut it exactly as we want. And we can just check that by pressing Make. It's really big at the minute, but you see that's all going to cut it perfectly, just what we want. And there we go, that is how easy it was. So it's far quicker and simpler to do than it was 3 years ago. So as this video ended up quite short, let's try it again with a different shape and a slightly different word as well. So this time I'll do the word Cricut and we'll put it into a star. Okay. Okay, so that will need to end up being quite small. Actually, first, should we put the word Cricut inside? See how that looks. Let's give that a try. I'm just playing now. All right, offset. And then that's probably a little thick. More like that. Slice exactly like we did before. Delete those ones. And then to put the name inside, this is really easy. You just need to drag it so that it's touching on each side, but so that it doesn't go over the edge. And then select them both, combine, and unite. If we change our colour, that's now all joined together. And that's really, really nice and quick. But I was going to show you how to put it in the side, so we'll still do that one. Let's duplicate this and undo the unite on this one. Zoom in. Move that to the front. And maybe like that. So we're going to follow exactly the same steps that we did with the heart, only this time we've got a star instead. I'm going to line that up, or try to, so that tip of the T will meet the tip of the star. Okay, now we've got that. We add some shapes in to cover up the bits of the green star that we can see under the name. there, and then one more like that. And I'm gonna see how that looks. Select all of those by clicking one, then pressing Shift on your keyboard, choosing the other ones and the star, and go Combine, Subtract to take the circles out. Move your text back to the front so it's easier to see, and then we can make this black, and that's how that's looking. I am actually happy with that. I don't think I want to make any changes. I like how the T is becoming part of the star there. So I can just select them both, combine and unite to join them together. Check it by changing it to a light colour. You see all of this is all joined together beautifully. And there we go. There is our 3 different shapes with words either cut out of them or put in the middle. So I hope you enjoyed this updated tutorial, but before I go, one of the comments that I got quite a few times on the original video was, how does this actually weed out from vinyl? So this time I'm actually going to cut it and I'll show you how to weed it and what it looks like when it's all done. I've resized all of my shapes so that each one is 3 inches wide to cut out from my vinyl. Now I can click Make and it will separate them out into the different colours. Make sure you read the instructions on your particular brand of vinyl that you're using to see if you need to mirror the design or not. If you're using adhesive vinyl, which is the vinyl that's sticky on the back, then you usually don't need to mirror your design. But if you're using iron-on or heat transfer vinyl, usually you do. But again, some brands, it varies. So just make sure you check out your particular brand before you cut it out. I'm going to do my Sarah name from heat transfer vinyl, and I do need to mirror it. Mirroring means the design will cut flipped or in reverse, so that once all the excess vinyl's been weeded away and you iron it onto wherever it is you're putting it on, it will then magically appear the correct way round. So I need to click my mirror button. Oh, I missed. Mirror button to flip it for this one. For this one with the word cricket inside the star, I'll cut this from adhesive vinyl. I'll use permanent vinyl, so this one doesn't need to be mirrored. And then this one I'll do from another type of heat transfer vinyl, which does need to be mirrored. So let's click that one. All right, I'm going to go ahead, get all this cut out, and then we'll see how to weed them all and how to put them onto our final products. I've now got my 3 shapes cut out. I've already weeded this one, which I've cut from some purple chameleon heat transfer vinyl from HTV Runt. So that one was one that was cut in reverse. It was mirrored, so I'll just leave that one there. And then these are my other 2. So this is cut from adhesive vinyl. This is Cricut holographic vinyl. You can see it's got that lovely sheen on it. And this one is another heat transfer vinyl. This is from Craft Stash, which is a website here in the UK. So I need to weed these 2 out. I'll start with the heat transfer one. And if you hear a beep in a minute, it is my mini press. I've just put that on to heat up. Okay, so let's start on the edge. I've got my weeding tool, and I hate weeding vinyl. As such, I've not done very much of it, so I'm really not very good. So, yeah, I'm going to work my way through it, and I'm just pulling away all the excess around the edge of the shape we've cut out. And this one was the heat transfer one, so this one's in reverse as well. And as you peel it off, you see you get your plastic sheet left there. That was my mini press, all nice and hot. And I also need to take out the middle. Come on. It doesn't help that my weeding tool is actually a little bit bent on the end, so it doesn't quite do as well as it used to. Be careful around your name where you've got all those small bits. There we go. And because I've got A's and the H, they've got the bits in the middle. I need to take those out too. There's one. It's really hard to see what I'm doing. It'll be more obvious in a minute. 2. Come on. And 3. Okay. Oh no, and I've still got the bit in the H to go. Right. Ooh, missed. Done. Okay, so when that's ironed on, that's what it will look like. And now my adhesive vinyl one, it works pretty much in the same way. You just need to take off all the excess. So we'll speed through this one. And this time it's got a white backing on it, and the bits that you're peeling off are sticky. Whereas with the heat transfer vinyl, it's the kind of carrier sheets that are sticky, not the vinyl that you take off. Right, there's that one done. Be careful when you're going around things like the dot in the eye, because that might accidentally get taken off by mistake. I did struggle on this one with the dot in the eye because it's so small, but I managed to get it on there just about in the end. And now you can add your decals to whatever it is that you're making. And I've got this notebook here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. There we go. I thought this would be nice for my gold name to go on there, so I can use this for all my project notes this year. This is a heat transfer vinyl one. I've got my pressing pillow. Actually, I probably don't need that because I've got a book, but I'll need this in a moment for my tote bag. Okay. I wasn't sure if adhesive vinyl or heat transfer vinyl would be best for this, but it is material, so I'm going to try heat transfer vinyl and just hope it doesn't melt. Line that up where I want it to go. Add a Teflon sheet for protection. And then with my mini press, I'll just go over it. Small circular motions. Okay, let's wait for that to cool down a little, and then I should be able to peel it off. Ooh, I've not quite done enough on that top corner. It was still peeling away a little bit. There. Alright, that's my first one done. It's probably a little hard to see on the camera. It would have probably been nicer if I'd have done a white offset around it, so then you'd be able to see it against the book better. But I like that it's nice and subtle. Alright, then second up, we've got our other heat transfer vinyl one. I'm just going to put this on a tote bag. This is just a test tote bag, so I'm not worrying about where it goes or what it looks like. My goal by the end of the year is to have this completely full of random Cricut projects that I've made, so it'll end up really colourful and all different kinds of things. So I preheated that a little bit, then put that down there. This time I've got my pressing pillow. Pop that over the top and give it a press. This is chameleon heat transfer vinyl, which means that when you catch it in a different light, it sort of changes colour. So this particular one goes from purple to blue. It's just really pretty. I'll drop the links in the description of this video to where they're all from. Okay, that should be enough. And you can see from these, even though we cut them the wrong way round, once they're stuck on, they are the right way again. Ooh. I'm not sure if I've not done enough on that, or if maybe it's a cold peel vinyl, which means you need to wait for it to cool down before you take that backing off. I'll let it cool a bit more. Whilst that's cooling, I've got a little gift bag here. This is made of paper, and this one I can do this. So usually you'd probably use some transfer tape to go over the top, but I was worried that might actually damage my paper. So instead I'm going to try and take it off kind of just like a big sticker, because it's all one piece apart from that dot on the eye. I'm not sure it's going to work because I don't want to bend it. This is not the correct way to do this. Okay. Get that kind of in the middle and hopefully straight-ish. There. Let's just see how this is doing. Oh, that's better. Oh, nope, still not quite coming off. I may have overpressed it now. I'll try that again in a minute. See, this is why I don't do vinyl projects, because I'm rubbish at them. I will try to stick to paper craft. But I'll never get any better if I don't practice. Right, so there's that one, and then we've got our 3 projects. So this one I need to probably iron a bit more, and then try and get that to stick. This is my adhesive vinyl. This is Cricut brand holographic. And then my Craft Stash Gold. So there we go, that's what it looks like. You can just shows you can cut it really small. These are only 3 inches wide, and they all weeded really nicely. They would have all gone on perfectly. This was definitely user error on my part. I've used this heat transfer vinyl loads of times before, and it's been fine. So it's definitely me forgetting to check the instructions. But there we go, a lovely, quick and easy way to personalize any single thing you want with your Cricut machine. If you enjoyed this video and would like more Design Space tutorials, then please give the video a thumbs up and leave me a comment in the boxes below on what you want to see next. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!